Alright, looks like my last video stayed up. It wasn't torn down. That's because there's probably only, what, 3 or 4 people that actually saw listened to it, or maybe clicked at it and moved on. So, but that's good. At least I got another video to stick. This one's about conformity, inspired by the recent video posted by the Academy of Ideas. If you haven't been to that site yet on YouTube, you really got to go there and partake of all of the awesome information that guy puts out about basically parts of the Borg mentality, but he does it on a more intellectual level. He actually has quotes from very smart people in the past, and rather than just someone like me who's just a layman who just sees things through his own eyes and contrasts and compares things that I've been taught versus what we do now. Let's see, now I've gone about, it's probably been about 3 months since I've been to Target. I have sworn Target off. I no longer go to that place of business anymore because they support racism and they support totalitarianism. So I've decided that is a particular business that I do not have to go to. I can go other places to get the things that I used to get at Target. And there's other companies like Coca-Cola that I refuse to purchase anything produced by that company because they're extremely racist. And I'm wondering how you guys are doing. Are you guys making any changes in your life, or are you just conforming to everything that you're told? Are you actually standing up like I did? I stood up against a company that I worked for because they believed in racism and in rioting for causes that were actually towards people who have bad lives to be able to be bad. And that it's okay to be bad, and it's okay to not strive to be better. And I couldn't do that. I had to leave that company. I had to actually quit. I didn't even have another job that I was going to do. I was like, it was so bad. I had been dealing with that for so long that I couldn't even sit in the break room because I couldn't be associated with anyone there socially because of the fact that they were such conformists, that they were such tyrannical supporters because they believed in doing what they're told, even though what they're told may not necessarily be right. Because they don't want to get fired, or they don't want to, cause trouble and have maybe people not give them certain positions in their job for promotions because they just chose to go against the conformity of the current Borg mentality. And so anyway, I just wanted to make a little quick post and make sure that if you haven't seen the video that deals with conformity from the Academy Ideas, I highly suggest you listen to it because it is what's going on. People think that they're righteous. They think that what they're doing is the right thing, and they go to church every weekend and they take the sacrament and they think of Jesus. And the sad thing is they don't realize. Do you know that bad people go to church? Yeah, not just good people go to church. Bad people go to church too. And the funny thing is the bad people that go to church don't think they're bad. They think they're actually good people. And they go out and they do service work, and they do, they pay, they sacrifice their time and their money for efforts. But yet when it comes to conformity, they are as guilty as the guy that basically put his knee on somebody's throat, right? I mean, it's like you don't realize that your compass of morality is actually so screwed up that you are actually the reason why things are becoming the way they are. I mean, if you're somebody in the last 2 years that has not changed where they go to their stores, what restaurants they frequent. Like, for instance, I don't go to Olive Garden anymore. Because when I went there with my family, they were like, oh, you can't have more than 6 people sitting at a table. Even though you all live as a family somewhere, you're not allowed to, because the tyrannical governor and the president, who was Trump at the time, supported the fact that you're not supposed to be sitting close to each other in the restaurants. And so we even tried to go against the rule, but they came back and says, no, you got to separate. You can't do that. You have to conform to these laws that don't make any sense. Okay? So if you're still eating at your favorite restaurants, if you're still going to your favorite stores, and those stores happen to be like Target or like the Olive Garden or other places that you may have discovered that I haven't discovered, you haven't made any changes in your lifestyle, like you haven't changed your job, or if you haven't did something that was actually quite world changing for you, then you probably are part of the problem. You probably are part of the totalitarian machine, that you are, just the fact that you're supporting the routine that you do all of the time is the same thing that was going on in Germany, right? Same thing that, not just Germany, but in Russia. The same thing that went on in Venezuela. That all these countries in the world that used to have some form of freedom and now no longer have that, because they figured that their day-to-day routine was good because the government didn't bother them. Well, you do realize that government laws are not always just. That government laws are not always moral. Just because it's a law doesn't mean you should do it. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why I no longer work at the place I used to work at. Because I realized that those people, a lot of them, most of them, are the reason why they complain about so many things. Okay? Yeah, they're the ones that complain about those Democrats. And, our gun rights are going to be taken away. And yet they continue to run on the hamster wheel. The hamster wheel day in and day out. This autonomous machine of conformity that everyone wants to point fingers at somebody else and blame them for their misgivings. But really what it is, it's their guilt. It's their guilt. They know deep down inside that they're too scared, that they don't have enough courage to actually stand up against it and to do something about it.